Bene, salve a tutti cari non telespettatori, a tutti voi. Io sono Crisali del Keeper di questo terzo canale e continuiamo questa sera Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Siamo a buon punto.
Life's end. Isn't it beautiful? It's almost tragic. When life ends, it gives off a final lingering aroma. Light is but a farewell gift from the darkness to those on their way to die. I've been waiting, Snake, for a long time.
Tutti quanti che mi aspettate?
Waiting for your birth, your growth, and the finality of today.
Boss, why are you doing this?
Why? To make the world one again. The world used to be whole.
Con lei non è facile da affrontare.
At the end of the Second World War, the philosophers began to fight amongst themselves, and the world was torn apart. The Cobras, my comrades,
Sì, ma aspettare qualcun altro, cioè. O aspettare che quell'altro lo uccida. Cioè, non è che... Ma so, cioè, fate una carbonara, una bella bombata. No, da sfigati.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
È meglio aspettare che qualcuno ti uccida. Vabbè, contenti loro, che te devo dire.
Yesterday's ally becomes today's opposition. And this Cold War?
La carbonara.
Era un sogno, hai capito?
America and Russia were fighting together. Now, consider whether America and Russia will still be enemies in the 21st century. Somehow I doubt it. Enemies change along with the times, the flow of the ages, and we soldiers are forced to play along. I didn't raise you and shape you into the man you are today, just so we could face each other in battle. A soldier's skills aren't meant to be used to hurt friends. So then what is an enemy? Is there such a thing as an absolute timeless enemy?
Ma in effetti qualcuno può diventare nemico e può diventare nemico col tempo.
And the reason is that our enemies are human beings like us.
Stai dicendo un concetto da 3 parole in 300 frasi. Segni?
The world must be made whole again. The philosophers must be reunited.
Ma io mi facevo tranquillamente i cazzi miei, vabbè.
And with the Colonel's money, I will achieve that end.
Non hai proprio un cazzo da fare tu, eh?
Once created the Cobras. They are my family.
Erano.
I may no longer be able to bear children, but I still have a family.
Che ti ho appena ucciso.
It was November.
Se l'avete preparato un papiro di discorso. Vabbè, è il discorso finale, ce lo dobbiamo subire, c'è poco da fare. Dobbiamo essere pazienti e subirci il discorso finale. E non è ancora il finale.
Covered in snow, white as snow. And snow is exactly what I saw in that Nevada desert.
La neve è neve, cioè.
Knows my blood white. Snake, you were an atomic test subject, weren't you? On Bikini Atoll.
In bikini? Vabbè.
That's part of the
Ha fatto le prove, sì, sì, sicuramente.
You and I are alike. We're both slowly being eaten away by the karma of others. We'll never have the chance to die peacefully of old age. We have no tomorrow. But we can still have hope for the future.
Nucleare in bikini, esatto.
I saw a vision of the ideal future from space. 3 years earlier, the Soviet Union had succeeded in launching Sputnik, the first man-made satellite in history, into orbit.
Esatto.
This came as a huge shock to the United States. In response, America threw everything it had into its own manned spaceflight project, the Mercury program. Even as the Soviets seemed poised to send their first man into space, America was still experimenting with chimpanzees and rockets.
E poi anche i cani.
The government wanted human data. So they secretly decided to send a human being into space. I was the one they chose. At the time, they didn't have the technology to block out cosmic rays, and whoever they sent up would inevitably be exposed to heavy radiation. That's why they chose me. After all, I'd already been irradiated once. Of course, you won't find any of this in the history books. I could see the planet as it appeared from space. That's when it finally hit me. Space exploration is nothing but another game in the power struggle between the US and the USSR. Politics, economics, the arms race, they're all just arenas for meaningless competition.
Le competizioni quasi sempre sono insensate.
But the Earth itself has no boundaries. No East, no West, no Cold War. And the irony of it is, the United States and the Soviet Union are spending billions on their space programs and the missile race, only to arrive at the same conclusion. In the 21st century, everyone will be able to see that we are all just inhabitants of a little celestial body called Earth. A world without communism or capitalism, that is the world I wanted to see. But reality continued to betray me. In 1961, I was sent to Cuba, to Bahia de Cochinos. It was part of a CIA-sponsored invasion under the guise of taking Cuban exiles back to their country. But the US government betrayed them. Our weak-kneed president held back their air support. Defenseless, the exiles were annihilated by the Cuban army. All I could do was watch in silence. I was set up by the very country I'd sacrificed so much for, by the very government I dedicated my life to defending. I was driven from the surface world, and I went underground. Then, 2 years ago, I faced the sorrow, my old comrade in battle. He was my friend. But one of us had to die. I was left with no choice. The sorrow gave his life for me. There is no enmity between us. One must live, and one must die. That was the mission. The ones who gave me that mission were the philosophers. Early in the 20th century, the true holders of power in the United States, the Republic of China, and the newly formed Soviet Union gathered together in a secret meeting that would later be known as the Wise Men's Committee. The secret pact they formed there marked the beginning of the philosophers. But the last of the original members died in the 1930s. After that, the organization began to run out of control, and the Wise Men's Committee degenerated into a mere shell of its former self. The philosophers of today have no sense of good or evil. Their influence extends to countries and organizations involved in every aspect of every war. They have become war itself. That's how they operate. The sacrifices of war cause a shift in the times. This shift leads to renewed conflict, and in turn triggers the next war. Like a nuclear chain reaction, each conflict sparks countless others, forming an endless spiral that will continue on for eternity. Do you understand what I'm saying, Snake?
Onestamente mi sono perso un po' di tempo prima fuori di ascoltarti.
It was my father who explained all of this to me. He was one of them. You see, I am the last remaining child of the philosophers. But after he revealed the truth, my father was killed by that same shapeless, formless organization. And my father isn't the only thing the philosophers have taken from me. In June of 1944, the Cobras and I took part in the landing at Normandy. We'd been given a top-secret mission to locate and destroy enemy V-2 rocket installations. I was pregnant at the time. The sorrow was the father.
E questo me lo ricordavo.
I gave birth on the field of battle. A beautiful baby boy. But my child was snatched away from me by the philosophers. Look at this scar. This is proof that I was once a mother. I gave up my body and my child for my country. There is nothing left inside me now. Nothing at all. No hatred, not even regret. And yet sometimes at night, I can still feel the pain creeping up inside me, slithering through my body like a snake. I've never talked this much about myself before.
E proprio adesso lo dovevi fare.
Thanks. Thanks for listening to me.
Non mi sembra che ci sia molta scelta.
I feel content. Snake, commence the operation. I raised you. I loved you. I've given you weapons, taught you techniques, endowed you with knowledge. There is nothing more for me to give you. All that's left for you to take is my life.
Ma se non volessi? Ma perché dovrei? Cioè,
And one must live.
no. Cioè,
No victory.
chi l'ha decisa sta cosa?
The survivor will carry on the fight.
Ma perché?
It is our destiny.
Ma non è vero! Lo stai inventando tu!
Who survives will inherit the title of boss. And the one who inherits the title of boss will face an existence of endless battle.
Ce ne potremmo tranquillamente andare e farci i cazzi nostri, ma tu no! Devi complicare la vita.
In 10 minutes, Miggs will come and bomb the hell out of this place. If you can beat me in less than 10 minutes, you'll be able to escape in time.
Non ricordavo ci fosse il tempo.
Let's make this the greatest 10 minutes of our lives, Jack.
Boss.
You're a soldier. Finish your mission. Prove your loyalty. Face me.
Ecco, lei era un po' un dito al culo. Lei non era facile.
Brace yourself.
È che purtroppo io non ricordo proprio se ha delle tattiche o no. Cioè, io mi ricordo che comunque con questo qualcosa gli facevo, ma credo evidentemente che devo fare in modo che non mi veda prima lei. Perché sennò si fa scudo. Poi mi fa così, mi cambia l'inquadratura.
Where are you?
Forse adesso c'ho una inquadratura buona. Niente, ma visto. In un modo o nell'altro c'ha sempre lo sguardo rivolto verso di me, anche se faccio giro tondo. Anche se faccio giro tondo, alla fine comunque guarda sempre verso di me. Cioè, la cosa che non ricordavo comunque è che c'ha uno scudo contro i proiettili che non capisco da dove gli viene fuori. Cioè, questo che non capisco, da dove viene fuori lo scudo. Credo che sia lì dietro. Lo vedi che se voglio te piglio? Dio, che palle quel calcio. Che poi te pia, cioè non c'è. L'unico modo che hai per poter evitare che te lo fa è sparargli. Perché quando fa così comunque di per sé sarebbe scoperta.
Solo che non è facile. Si è spostata e non me ne ero nemmeno accorto. La telecamera qui è un po' nemica però, perché fa un po' il cazzo che gli pare. Come cazzo hai fatto non... Cioè, vabbè. Come hai fatto a evitare il proiettile, poi me lo spieghi, Cioè, è assolutamente impossibile che mi hai evitato lì. È assolutamente impossibile. Cioè, ti ho palesemente colpito in testa. Perché poi se mi fa un'inquadratura così, se mi carica, io non la vedo. Eccola. Se mi fa la carica che mi viene addosso, io non la vedo se mi fai così. Se mi fai sta inquadratura così, mi devi tenere gli occhi puntati su di lei. Che cazzo, è mo doppiato bene però. E vaffanculo, no? Sta partendo la musica. Quando parte la musica vuol dire che siamo a buon punto. L'ha un po' sculato, lo ammetto.
Brace yourself. I can't see. Let's see what you're made of. I can't see.
Ah sì?
Get ready.
No, vabbè, certo ti metti... Vabbè. Fai cose che io non ti chiedo di fare. Cioè, sta cosa dei muri fa più male che bene.
Brace yourself.
Troppo lontano.
Brace yourself.
Vabbè, e tanto ne prende sempre lei.
Heads up,
Cioè, io poi ecco, mo, l'ho preso o no? Non si capisce un cazzo. Mi acciacchi pure a me. Perché a volte... Vabbè. Cioè, le cose o vengono sempre o non vengono mai. No che vengono a caso. No, mi sa che quando sta per morire le granate non fanno più effetto. Che tanto la evita sempre. Fatta a caso, Questa l'ho fatta proprio a caso. Quindi a terra la potevo prendere, cazzo, se lo sapevo prima. Pensavo che girasse peggio comunque sto pezzo. Tutto sommato è girato bene. Ma ha rallentato un po', però pensavo girasse molto peggio.
Take this. Keep it safe. It's our only hope.
Patriot. Why are you giving me this?
Jack,
Io ancora non ho capito se si chiama Jack o John.
or should I say, Snake. You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now. Do it.
Cioè, potrei essere un uomo meraviglioso anche senza spararti, non è che serve per forza che lo faccio.
There's only room for one boss and one snake.
Appunto, io sono Snake già. Una partita puoi usare la Patriot. Ah sì, questo me lo ricordavo. Ecco, ma prepariamoci perché il finale dura un'ora. Sempre perché gli piace allungare le cose. Gli sta una goccia di sangue. Niente, vabbè. Beh, io non l'avrei fatto, me l'ha chiesto lei. E perché questa cosa? Che significa questa cosa? No, non capisco questa cosa della cicatrice che era un serpente, non è che l'abbia capita, vabbè. Cioè, non ne capisco un po' il senso, vabbè. Poco male. Cioè, sembra come se fosse una sorta di maledizione. Così tanto soprannaturale a sto gioco non ci sta. A parte un po' di sorro. Eppure di End che tanto normale non era. Mamma mia.
Ready to go, Snake? Are you okay? Snake?
Yeah.
Bei dettagli sui vestiti.
I told you could trust me.
Oddio che è? È Ocelot che non si arrende proprio,
Ocelot. We're not done yet.
Quanto è ostinato sto tizio. Aia. Siete 3 persone, siete troppo pesanti.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Not good!
I picked up a few new moves. Huh. It doesn't feel right to shoot an unarmed man. But I'll get over it. Eva!
Entrambe scariche? Che senso c'ha che siano entrambe scariche? Cioè scusa, che Snake ha dato a Eva una pistola scarica?
What do you say to one last showdown?
Yeah, all right.
Giusto perché non c'è proprio un cazzo da fare, eh? Bella domanda, mo' sono fregato. Quale scelgo? Io mi sono perso.
What's your name?
Snake.
No, not that name. You're not a snake, and I'm not an ocelot. We're men with names. My name is Adamska.
Adamska.
What's yours?
John.
Very well, John. Plain name. But I won't forget it. Come on!
Quindi alla fine c'è un'ultima azione che non capirai. Ne ho presa a caso perché tanto non... Cioè, proprio allunga il brodo, proprio, cioè, lo potresti cacciare fuori dall'aereo, ma no, devi fare tutto il giochetto suo. sparato io, credo, no? Sì. Mi sa che alla fine, comunque sia, l'arma con il proiettile ce l'hai tu.
It's a blank.
Salve. E tutto sto macello manco era una cartuccia vera.
That was fun. Till we meet again, John.
Tutto completamente inutile. Cioè, una cosa di totale cazzeggio. Cioè, hanno cazzeggiato come due bambini. Cioè, hanno cazzeggiato come due bambini. È tutto completamente inutile. Beh, in teoria non potrebbero lo stesso, hanno un motore danneggiato, però. È un pirla, sì, esattamente, è un grandissimo pirla. Cioè, è un cazzone, cioè qui Ocelot è un cazzone.
Yeah, sure did.
Quello che soffre più di tutti è il cavallo. Paradossalmente.
Oh no, Migs! There's no way out. What are we gonna do?
We've come too far to let them stop us now. Those things have got to be armed.
It's no use. There's no way we can outmaneuver them. They're gonna shoot us down. We were so close.
Weapon systems on.
Locked on target. I got towed.
You were great, Eva.
Huh?
Thanks.
Bulk 19, this is Control. Stand by for a direct order from the chairman. Bulk 19, return to base immediately.
Questa si chiama botta di culo.
This is a direct order from Comrade Khrushchev. Return to base immediately. Bulk 19, do you copy?
Questa si chiama botta di culo.
Mission. RTB.
Look! The Migs are turning back! Woo!
Dovresti guidare, però. Guarda, se mo infrociate vi sta bene. Ecco, bravo. Brava.
Well done, Snake.
The MiG's disengaged.
Most likely under orders from Khrushchev.
Is this his way of helping us?
Who knows? Maybe he didn't want things to get messier than they already are. Or maybe he just wanted us to owe him one. The important thing is, you made it out alive. As long as Khrushchev is with us, I don't think they'll be coming after you. It should be smooth sailing all the way to Alaska. I'm sending someone out to Galena Base to meet you.
To meet me?
The DCI and the President himself are waiting at Langley. Don't keep them waiting.
Adesso la maggior parte del tempo se la porterà via al finale. Perché corto non è. Pensavo di metterci così tempo, tutto questo tempo, mi sa che mi conveniva fare un'altra live. Vabbè, ormai stiamo qua. Pensavo di metterci meno tempo. 10 ore mi è durato, 10 ore e 8, più del solito. Ben più del solito. Sto pezzo me lo ricordo. Sto pezzo me lo ricordo. Bello è che sto vestiti come so stia, vabbè. Cioè non ci sono manco cambiati. Sono rimasti vestiti alla stessa maniera.
So what are you going to do now? Go back to the KGB?
What do you want me to do?
Did you ever think about coming back to America?
I can't go back. I've left America behind me.
But you saved this country.
I didn't do it alone.
And I still owe you a dinner.
Rispetto allo Snake del primo, Big Boss forse è un pochino più accondiscendente.
Or is it an order?
Cioè si scioglie con un po' più di facilità.
Is it an invitation? Or a proposal? I don't take orders from anyone now.
State attenti ora che se schiacciate quei bicchieri vi fate male. No, per quanto forse sembrava una scena un po' messa così, in realtà questa scena è molto importante. Non so se la spiegano già qua o se bisognerà aspettare diciamo i sequel, ma sì, decisamente sì. Mi pare che adesso tipo... vediamo se mi ricordo bene, eh. Ah, è lei che lo fa. Sì. Finiva nel fuoco, me lo ricordavo. Finiva nel fuoco, sta cosa me la ricordavo. Ovviamente zoom sulla fiamma, perché giustamente... Però vabbè, sappiamo tutti quanti come va a finire e come ho detto, è una cosa molto... Cioè, è una cosa molto importante a livello di trama questa cosa che succede. Non è una cosa messa lì soltanto a casaccio. Yeah.
Scholars tell us that the first spy in history was the snake in the book of Genesis. In that story, it was Eve who was tempted by the snake in the Garden of Eden. But this time around, it was I who tempted the snake and got away with the forbidden fruit of knowledge. Forgive me, Snake.
Vabbè, almeno ho avuto il buon senso di premiarlo prima di andarsene via. Giusto per non lasciargli troppo l'amaro in bocca.
Good morning, Snake. I hope you slept well. First of all,
I have to apologize. I wasn't sent by Khrushchev. I'm not a KGB spy, and I never worked for the NSA.
I'm an agent of the People's Republic of China for the General HQ, Second Department of the People's Liberation Army.
Un altro po' di spiegazioni.
It was all a lie. I tricked you. And I'm sorry.
Finalmente si mette una giacchetta diversa. Poi scusa, questa è un'altra moto, non può essere la stessa, che l'altra andava distrutta.
The philosophers still exist in China, too. You see, my mission was to find out where Volgan was hiding the philosopher's legacy and steal it. So I infiltrated his base as a KGB spy. The 2 NSA codebreakers who defected in 1960 were actually both men. The real Adam never showed up at the meeting place, saving me the trouble of having to eliminate him. I sneaked in by pretending I was Eva. And you and Sokolov and Volgan, you all believed me. The philosopher's legacy was originally held in common between the US, Soviet Union, and China. We couldn't let the Russians and the Americans take it all for themselves. The Chinese government had its eye on the legacy, too. I got the film containing the legacy, and also the nuclear missile launch data from the Shagohod. 5 years ago, the Soviet Union stopped supplying us with nuclear weapons technology. Since then, China's Liaodong easing, hydrogen bomb, and space rocket projects have fallen behind. But with this data, our country will be able to develop its own nukes. We'll create a deterrent force to rival those of the US and Soviet Union. Everything has gone according to plan, thanks to your help. I, too, am one of the philosophers. I'm an agent of the philosophers, a graduate of one of their charm schools. I was raised in a joint US-Soviet-Chinese facility to become a sleeper agent. This was before the war. Back then, they were collecting children from all over the world. As a result, I'm indistinguishable from a native-born American. So it didn't surprise me when you and Volgan couldn't tell the difference.
Ah, quindi lei è proprio cinese.
She knew right from the beginning.
Cioè lei è proprio di nazionalità cinese.
Because before the war, she was at one of the philosopher's schools too, as an instructor. The boss was the only one I couldn't fool. She was the only one who knew I was a fake. She told me.
Sì, direi di sì. Direi di sì.
Why did she open her heart to me like that? At the time, I couldn't understand it. But now, I think I do. Snake. She wanted you to know the truth. She chose me to tell you. That's why she saved my life. I've lied to you so many times, but not this time. My orders from the government were to obtain the legacy and to eliminate everyone who knew the truth about what happened. In other words, I'm supposed to kill you.
Potevi non dirgli la verità così non dovevi ucciderlo. Tanto semplice.
But I can't do it. Not because we loved each other.
Per una notte.
Not because you saved my life. But because I made a promise to the boss. And I intend to keep it. I just wanted you to know. And you have to live.
Questo messaggio si autodistruggerà fra 30 secondi. Fa molto ispettore gadget questa cosa.
Snake, listen to me. She didn't betray the United States. No. Far from it. She was a hero who died for her country. She carried out her mission knowing full well what was going to happen. Self-sacrifice. Because that was her duty.
Immagino sia il presidente quello.
You are above
even the boss. I hereby award you the title of Big Boss. You are a true patriot.
Sono quei convenevoli che nessuno vuole fare mai. Perché puntualmente pensa sempre a qualcos'altro. Cioè sempre la mente da un'altra parte.
In the army. Someone like him to handle our top secret sneaking missions for us. A man who combines the qualities of a soldier and an agent.
The boss's defection was a ruse set up by the US government. It was all a big drama staged by Washington so they could get their hands on the philosopher's legacy. And the boss was the star of the show. They planned it so that they could get the legacy that Colonel Volgan inherited and destroy the Shagohod at the same time. Only a legendary hero like the boss could have earned Volgan's trust. Finding out where the philosopher's legacy was hidden was to be her greatest mission. Everything was going according to plan.
Ma?
But then something happened that no one could have predicted. Colonel Volgan fired an American-made nuclear warhead at Sokolov's research facility. Khrushchev demanded that the US government provide proof that it wasn't involved. They couldn't just abort the operation to steal the legacy. So the operation itself was greatly expanded and revised. The authorities in Washington knew that in order to prove its innocence, they'd have to get rid of the boss. And that one of their own would have to do the job. The public couldn't be allowed to find out about it. Not ever. This, they concluded, would be the best way to keep the whole thing under wraps. The boss wouldn't be allowed to come back home alive. And she wouldn't be allowed to kill herself. Her life would be ended by her most beloved disciple. That was the way the government wanted it. That was the mission she was given. And she had no choice but to carry it out. Her death at your hands was a duty she had to fulfill. Out of duty, she turned her back on her own comrades. A lesser woman would have been crushed by such a burden.
Sì, in effetti.
The taint of disgrace will follow her to her grave. Future generations will revile her. In America as a despicable traitor with no sense of honor. And in Russia as a monster who unleashed a nuclear catastrophe. She will go down in official history as a war criminal. And no one will ever understand her. That was her final mission. And like a true soldier, she saw it through to the end. But I think she wanted you, of all people, to know the truth. She wanted to live on in your memory. Not as a soldier, but as a woman. But she was forbidden to tell you herself. And that's why she told me. Snake, history will never know what she did. No one will ever learn the truth. Her story her debriefing will endure only in your heart. Everything she did for her country. She sacrificed her life and her honor for her native land. She was a real hero. She was a true patriot.
Viene destituito e prima segretario del Partito Comunista come premier. La Cina segue con successo il suo primo test nucleare sul Taiwan. 5 Sing entra nell'ARPA. Collabora con il governo USA conduce uno studio di cultura e medicina. Eva scompare da senza crash. Paramedic fonda il primo sistema paramedico. Invece Zero scioglie la Fox. Gli Stati Uniti accumulano diversi portando avanti le tradizioni di Major Zero. Big Boss fonda Fox Sound. 72 il progetto degli enfants terrible. Piano piano dovremmo arrivare in teoria. No, si ferma. Vabbè, sì. Nascono i figli di Big Boss. Quindi si ferma al 72, non arriva più in là. Allora, questo è stato Metal Gear Solid 3. Che dire? Nonostante continui a non essere il mio preferito, adesso spiegherò il motivo. Corregge molti difetti del secondo. In primis la trama. Che la trama del secondo era veramente troppo incasinata, troppe cose strane, una certa proprio te perdi proprio il filo. Qui è una trama complessa, però è facile da seguire, cioè la capisci. Alla fine ti spiegano tutto e non c'è più domande. Inoltre, corregge molti di anche altri difetti del secondo, come per esempio il codec, che qui non è invadente, cioè ti chiamano molto di rado, lo usano poco, è giusto solo è necessario. Anche i filmati ci stanno, però non sono invadenti come quelli del secondo, e sono anche relativamente più corti, a parte forse il finale che va un po' avanti, un po' più avanti degli altri, però non è invadente, cioè comunque non sono invadenti. E la cosa che non è che non funzioni, ma che a me non va giù purtroppo è proprio il sistema di gioco, perché lo hanno completamente cambiato, aggiungendo cose molto interessanti come il fatto delle cure, il fatto della mimetica, anche il cibo e tutto quanto, che è molto interessante. Però per il resto è uno stealth completamente diverso, perché non c'hai il radar. Vabbè. E i tuoi nemici li puoi anche vedere, il problema è che non vedi dove guardano. E comunque tu ne puoi guardare soltanto uno per volta. Quindi è una cosa che secondo me lo rende cioè, più ostico di quanto dovrebbe. Già se ci avessero messo un radar normale sarebbe stata tutt'altra cosa, secondo me. E questo è quanto. Penso di aver fatto abbastanza pietà perché mi hanno sgamato in continuazione, quindi... Però in tutti i Metal Gear c'è sempre una sorta di scena post-credit. Eccola.
Yes, Grozny Grad and the Granin Research Facility have both been wiped out without a trace. I understand, sir, but they were necessary sacrifices. Yes, the CIA has taken care of the boss themselves. I believe the White House will be satisfied. Khrushchev is finished. Your time has finally arrived. Yes, the American president is relying on us to keep a lid on the whole affair. We've got him by the balls. It should make a valuable trump card in future negotiations. Yes, Chief Director, of course. I'll keep the KGB informed.
Il telefono quello cerchio, mamma mia. Io ce l'avevo un telefono così.
Yes, it's me. The boss has accomplished her mission. The philosopher's legacy is now safely with us, in America's hands. With this money, yes, the philosophers can finally be revived. The film we handed the Chinese was a fake. Peking must be in an uproar right about now. I'm afraid so. Only half the money has made it back to the United States. The KGB must still have part of the legacy. Yes, the weapon has been reduced to ashes. That's right. Grozny Grad has been obliterated by the Davy Crockett we brought in as well. Yes, that was the boss's work too. Speaking of which, I've obtained something from Granin that you might find interesting. It's a revolutionary new nuclear attack system. Perhaps it might just come in handy someday. Yes, we have Snake to thank for that. Khrushchev believed it as well. Yes, they bought our story. I don't think they'll be making a fuss. The secondary alert has been lifted as well. And the Soviets still haven't discovered my true identity. They have no idea that I've been triple-crossing them.
Triplo gioco.
I will continue my activities as a contact for the new government. Yes, it appears that no one knew that I was Adam.
Quindi Adam era Ocelot.
Of course, I'm always at the CIA's disposal, Mr. Director.
Ultimo colpo di scena. Adam era Ocelot.